This is burning my hand. Hey guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Huge disclaimer, huge trigger warning. I will be talking a lot about my relationship to food, my past relationship to food and my body, disordered eating, binge eating, body dysmorphia. So if you're triggered by this topic in any way, please feel free to exit this video. I have other videos on my channel that you can go and watch. This video is all about my body image journey. This is such a problem within our society, and it has been for a long time. A lot of people have started to open up about the topic of body image and disordered eating and body positivity, which is such an amazing thing, as well as mental health, but I think we still have a long way to go. So I'm hoping that my story can just influence people in a positive way and hopefully just make people feel less alone, because at the end of the day, when it comes to just struggling mentally in any way, it can feel so incredibly isolating. And I know just going through my entire mental health journey, I've loved looking at videos like this to just help me feel less alone. And actually a video that I watched very recently was Catherine Cimarelli. She's part of the Cimarelli band, which I used to watch their videos all the time, which is so funny. And I just kind of rediscovered her, but she recently did a video about her body image journey, and I've been wanting to do this video for a really long time. And this just kind of put a spark under me to really sit down and film it. I related to her video a lot. This is my body image story and journey. I have a lot to say, so let's buckle up. Let's take it back to really when this all started. It's gonna come across like I am calling people out, but that's not my intention whatsoever. I have no ill feelings toward anyone. I do not blame anyone for my body image struggles. I have accepted it. I would say this started at the age of 6. I think it started when I was 6 because I had a lot of women in my life, I noticed, talking really poorly about their bodies and about themselves and calling themselves fat, and I kind of witnessed calorie counting from a very young age. My little brain was trying to understand everything, right? Like in my head for the longest time, these women seemed so perfect to me and like they could do no wrong. And so when I saw them talking badly to themselves and thinking that they were anything less than beautiful, I kind of looked at that and was like, oh no, am I fat then? If they think they're fat, even though I look at them and I see amazing women. And like I said, I do not blame anyone for anything, because at the end of the day, they were doing the best that they knew how to do, and clearly they were going through something as well. I didn't, of course, understand any of this at the time. I was afraid to say this for a long time, honestly, because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I also know now that I need to share my truth so I can hopefully help others out there. It's so overwhelming how many people struggle with this and how many people are exposed to this topic from a very young age, and it's very sad. But at the same time, like, it just goes to show that this has been a problem for a long time. I just remember being 6 and kind of just like looking at myself in the mirror and being like, oh, I must be fat. And that's kind of when it all started, and I never really shared that with anyone for a long time. And I remember just being super young and having these very toxic ideas and mindsets around food and how much I was eating, because I thought that if I gained weight in any way, then I was unlovable or I was unworthy or I wasn't going to be beautiful. I just remember always stressing, just always stressing about what I was putting into my body, how active I was being. If you could see any rolls on my skin. I was a very active child. I had a lot of energy, and I did competitive cheerleading for a long time, which exerted a lot of energy. So there was some pressure there to stay small, especially you're wearing super tiny uniforms and you are constantly looking at your body and comparing yourself to your teammates. At the same time, my dad was in the military, so we were constantly moving around from place to place, and that was really hard on me because it was just hard leaving my friends and starting a new life. And then in 8th grade, we moved to California. It was very different there than it was in Virginia Beach, let me tell you. People thought at my school I was too skinny, and I would get joked about that. And again, not blaming anyone. I'm sure at the time people were projecting their own insecurities onto me, but I remember just being so confused because in my mind, I always saw myself as bigger. I have always been kind of on the taller side, especially when I was younger. I had really long legs, and for some reason in my mind, I equated being tall to being bigger, but I was very, very skinny. I had a very high metabolism, and so when I moved to California, I was being told like I was anorexic and all these things, and truthfully, I felt pride in that, but also discomfort because people were making comments about my body. So naturally there's discomfort there, but I also remember feeling prideful because people thought I was really, really skinny. And it's very twisted to think about that, but I think there was also then this pressure to keep up with the thinness. 9th grade is kind of when my hormones started to change. I got my period. I just naturally kind of filled out a little bit more, as you should. I started to get boobs, and I remember just feeling so uneasy about it all. I did not feel comfortable within my skin. I should also mention that in 8th grade, when I moved to California, I was very depressed. I did not like being in California, and that was kind of around the time I really started to binge eat, and I would come home from school and just eat and eat and eat. I definitely noticed signs of like binge eating before 8th grade as well. I definitely would just find comfort in food, and I remember, I think I was in 7th grade, and a girl said to me like, "You eat a lot," at the lunch table, and I just remember like feeling crushed. And then after that, being like afraid to eat in front of people. And one of my best friends at the time, you could tell she was also going through something with food and would never eat at lunch, and so I would kind of follow her lead, and I didn't enjoy eating around people either for a really long time. That makes me really sad. I really wish that I could go back in time and just tell that young Abby to relax and enjoy the food. Like I said, I'm in California, my hormones are changing. Sophomore year, I got on birth control. I think it was sophomore year. So long ago. I'm 24 now, so I was like 16, I think, when I started birth control. And pretty much all throughout high school, I just simply, it was like an ongoing cycle of feeling super stressed and anxious and uncomfortable within my body, and just feeling a lot of feelings naturally because hormones are changing, but also struggling with anxiety and depression. So I would go to food to make me feel better, and I would eat and eat and eat, and then I'd feel like complete shit about myself. I never found peace within my body. I would restrict my food for a little bit, but I could only keep up with that for so long until I just binge ate again. And that went on for a really, really long time. There is a possibility for you to find peace and happiness with your body, and don't get me wrong, it's definitely a journey. It can be very uncomfortable, but I kind of found peace with myself when I started learning about intuitive eating and I started following body positivity accounts. I just was actively trying to change my mindset around food and my body. I didn't mention this all that much, but body dysmorphia is something that I still very much go through. I've found a lot of comfort within myself, and I'm learning to have peace with myself and my body and food. So I'm just showing you guys like it's an ongoing process and something that I'm most likely going to have to keep up with for the rest of my life, because this started from a very young age. Naturally, it's not going to be easy to, you know, get rid of. About, honestly, 4 to 5 years ago, I really got into following body positivity accounts. One specific person who really helped me is Charlie Howard, and she showed me that rolls and a little bit of skin and cellulite and all of that is beautiful and it makes us human. That was the first time I saw someone being real. Like, I had never seen photos of women like hunching over purposely to show their rolls or their cellulite, and I found that so amazing, and I really looked up to that and it helped me a lot. And then I started kind of learning about intuitive eating and how you shouldn't look at food as this black or white thing, like good or bad. I really try to listen to my body, and that's kind of what intuitive eating is. There's more that goes into intuitive eating, and I can totally do another video about that, but the main gist is there is no good or bad foods. There's just food. You need to listen to your body and trust yourself, because we are intelligent creatures and our bodies are so smart, and our bodies know what we want, and you really just got to look within. And it's a process of learning how to trust yourself again and learning how to listen to yourself. But once you kind of find that rhythm, you'll understand like, oh, my body is craving nutritious whole foods right now. My body is telling me to stop eating because I am full. My body is telling me that I'm hungry. I should eat something. I definitely do not count calories, but I do like to mention that if you do that, I am not judging in any way. We are all so different, and some people can count calories and not have a problem with it. We all have different goals as far as what we want to achieve within our health journey. For me, my health journey and what I want to achieve is happiness with my body and peace with my body. I am not trying to lose weight in any way, so counting calories and counting macros might work for someone who is trying to gain muscle. Like, I totally understand, but for me personally, counting calories, it does not work for me. I get very obsessive over things very easily, and so I've just kind of learned to stay away from MyFitnessPal, and I've learned to stay away from the scale, because that also does not show you your internal health. It just gives you a number. Whatever number is on that scale does not necessarily mean you are healthy or unhealthy. It is absolutely possible for you to find peace and happiness. That being said, though, I definitely go through periods where I struggle. Luckily, I have a great support system to help me stay on track and understand my goal. And my goal is to just be happy and find peace within myself and my body. Because at the end of the day, if you can't find peace with yourself, what are you living for? You're living to please others, and you're living to look a certain way. And it is crazy how some people will do anything to look a certain way, even if it means jeopardizing their mental health and their happiness. And that makes me really sad, because that's not what life is about. I think people tend to forget that we're only on this earth for a short period of time. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to spend my life wasting my time thinking about how much I weigh, how many calories I'm putting into my body. I'm just not doing it. Not every day is perfect, and I'm okay with that, and I've learned to accept that, and I tackle my problems as they come, but for the most part, I have come such a long way, and intuitive eating and listening to my body and trusting myself has really helped me. I also think what really helped me was getting my certification in holistic health coaching. I got my certification from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and throughout the program you kind of talk about, well, you really talk about trusting yourself and listening to your body. The food that is medicine to me could be someone else's poison, so it just really goes to show we are all so different.
Hello, I just woke up and I'm editing this video. If you feel like you are struggling in any way, please go seek professional help. Please go talk to someone. I am not a licensed therapist or anything like that. I am just sharing with you guys my story and kind of what works for me. I have gone to therapy, but I never went to a facility for any of this. So I just want to really point that out, because you got to do what works for you, and we're all so different, and this is just kind of what worked for me. And yeah, so
I feel really good within my body today, and that's all that matters. Again, I take it one day at a time. I really just try to eat to nurture and nourish my body, because I understand how much work my body does for me every single day. And the fact that I'm even sitting here doing this video, drinking this tea, breathing right here in front of you, that is a miracle. And I am just so incredibly grateful for my health and my well-being. I definitely want to talk more about intuitive eating. I'm still learning every single day. I am hoping one day to help women find a balance within their lives, because I truly feel like it is possible. I have done it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your support, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video if you enjoyed. And I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.